Okay, looking good, or at least good enough. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another live streaming session of Salliekat Plays Avernum. And I did have a cat on my lap, and she's just decided to hop off. As cats often do. So, last time we did the Tower of Magi, cleared out some ogres, discovered that my unlock spell is not strong enough to affect all of the doors. I've done a little bit of exploring off screen. Not that much. And I've been told that a message from Solberg is hidden nearby. Like right here. And let me just give the stream a moment to catch up and see if it's displaying. Yes, it is. Wonderful. The winding hidden tunnel ends in a large, twisted basalt pillar. Remembering what you were told in the Tower of Magi, you wait here. Presumably, if I hadn't gone to the Tower of Magi before finding this, I would have learned nothing useful. Soon, the image of an old man holding a carved wooden staff appears before you and begins to speak. Greetings, whoever you are. I am Solberg, of the Triad of the Tower of the Magi. I have left this message here, in case there is ever need to find me. I hope it should not be necessary to call me back to the tower, for that means it has become even more a place of horrors. But I have my responsibility, and so I leave this message. I have a small hidden tower near the lava pools near Formalo. I may be found there, if need be. The password is disaster. I hope, very much, this need not be necessary. The shade disappears. You take note of the password. So again, definitely a plot event locked kind of thing. If we tried exploring Solberg's tower without learning that password, we would not be able to get in. I think that might be true even in Exile 1, not just Avernum 1. Ha! Against one wall, someone left or dropped a strongbox. Inside it, you find a flask filled with some sort of fluid. It's translucent and green, and smells very sweet. I get an elixir. It is not identified. I also find a secret passage linking up the tower and Murtis map squares. Yay. Anyway, I could go further north to go find Solberg and deal with some of the stuff around Formalo, but I've got a bee in my bonnet about the Divine Fire spell, and I've got a pretty good idea of where to go learn the first two ranks of it. You are at the entrance to a huge cavern. You behold a truly amazing sight, beautiful and terrifying at the same time. The cave floor slopes down toward the center, so you have an excellent view despite the mist. In the center of the cave you can see a large lake, apparently coming from some sort of spring. Its runoff runs to the south, where it pours into a huge lake of magma. Then the water, with an eardrum-searing hissing noise, boils away. The result is that the cavern is not only noisy, but filled with a thick, choking white mist. The humidity has enabled a wide variety of fungus to grow. It's not the most comfortable place to be, but it's a wondrous sight. I kind of miss that the old Exile engine allowed Jeff to put in things like, wow, instead of just, okay. He still could have done that in Avernum, honestly, I think. And as usual, do not step on the hot lava. Beware unstable ground and fumaroles. Warning, lava pools. The sign is dripping wet. Apparently this would not be a good place to set up a hot springs spa. Several of the merchants who are camping here look like they would make a bit of money up. Look like they would like to make a bit of money off you. Do you stop to do a bit of shopping? Do they have anything I would even want? Okay, potentially lockpicks. How are my lockpicks doing? I have 5 lockpicks. If they were fine lockpicks, I would definitely buy them. Shield ring, gold ring, healing elixir. Yeah, they basically don't have anything that I want. And I don't think I have anything I want to sell right now. Because I did just clear out my inventory at the Tower of Magi recently. Oh, look, a slime. Also, why do my fighters keep spawning in the back in these battles? Lightning spray did not immediately kill the slimes. Oh, curing does not actually cure acid. That's not great. Do I have anything that'll neutralize acid then? I guess not. Oops. Oh no, it does cure acid, then why did it look like it wasn't? Eh. Oh yeah, that thing. Because I do have enough safe travel. Excuse you? Maybe my safe travel spell isn't leveled up enough to pass through all of lava. I've used it successfully on lava before, I'm sure. Maybe if I approach from the north? Ah, that's the safe path. Okay then. You've managed to make your way to the top of a subterranean fumarole. It is capped with a large pool of eminently deadly lava. After a few moments, you begin to see an image floating over the lava. It begins to solidify and move closer. It floats up to you, shakes, and then floats away again. Okay. The shape resolves into a gigantic fanged demon floating over the lava. He is restrained by gigantic golden chains. He looks at you with great disdain and says, "Begone, mortals, and leave me to my humiliation. Return when you have the power to defeat Greyhearth. Until then, you are of no use to me. Do not come back until Greyhearth has been freed from his prison." Having said his piece, he floats away again, leaving you alone. Cue party members asking, who the heck is Greyhearth? I know who Greyhearth is, of course, because I have played through several versions of this game. Well, by several, I mean 3. But I've played through each of those versions several times. Okay, no messages. Time to start looking for secret passages. Really? Nothing? Could have sworn there was something up in here. There it is. You find some interesting mushrooms. Your knowledge of cave lore tells you they have an invigorating effect on the eater. There are a variety which is very useful for making potions. I get quite a lot of energetic herbs. Making Magrat carry all of my alchemical ingredients. The Great Cave, Almeria to the west. Also some other stuff. You find a loose collection of farms. Industrious, pale folk raise fat, pink mushrooms and tend to pale cows and homicidal giant lizards. Pleasant and dull folk long separated from the violence and strife that is the constant state of affairs in the north. The news of constant warfare with the Nephilim and Salliekat doesn't seem to worry them. As you're about to leave, one wiry woman pulls you aside. "You're adventurers. I should know. I used to be one," she mutters, smiling. "When you get to Almeria, ask Dexter if you can see his tools. You won't regret it." Also, the Great Cave is heavily patrolled by Avernum guards, who watch not only for Salliekat, but for bandits as well. Since you are neither, they don't bother you. There's a small cluster of stone huts on the riverbank. A large clan of fishermen live here, yanking pale, slimy cavefish from the river by the hundreds. When they see you, they invite you in for fried fish steaks and mushroom ale. They're friendly folk, though they're all very worried about Slith raiders. Honestly, fish steaks and ale sounds pretty good right about now. Was there anything special up in here? I don't remember. So I have to go and push my face against walls, as one does. Cows. Someone has set their flock of cave cows loose to graze. They've all been branded, and the dark marks of the brand stand out well against the pale, almost translucent flesh. The shadows, moisture, and mushroom diet don't agree with these poor bovine creatures. They look at you, moo sadly, and wander away. Okay, so nothing up in here except for cows. Apparently I do not interact with those soldiers. Almerian Bridge, toll 5 gold. As you try to walk through this open gate, a grumpy guard pokes his head out a window and says, "Greetings, friend. The toll for the bridge is 5 coins. Then the guards recognize you. News of your exploits has traveled ahead of you. The captain says, "Many apologies. Feel free to pass our gate whenever you want." Heh, cool. My reputation is already good enough to bypass the Almeria toll. Apparently, my reputation is level 20, which makes me well known. Yes, we are the Slayers of Ogres, Defeaters of Nephilim, currently Ignorers of Sliths. Starcap. A short, bearded man is training a bunch of people. His training technique seems to involve a lot of shouting and abuse. So is the shouting extra, or does that come with your services? I train all the substandard lumps of meat that pass through my door. Like you. He wanders off for a moment to heap abuse on a student. The student survives. Barely. You? He laughs. Well, I suppose you might survive. Step in and get ready to gut it out. And if we ask how he got to be an Avernum, well, on the surface, all my training was for rebels. When the Empire caught us, I begged for mercy. That way, I got thrown down here, where I can train people to fight those smug bastards above us. Oh, my respect for you just went up. Begging for mercy, that must have been difficult. Not half so difficult as being thrown down here, but that was what it took to keep on fighting the Empire. So I groveled. Never again. Okay then. Jasmine's Fine Foods. For the other, tastier kind of lumps of meat. Woman in a plain dress stands behind the counter. She is stunningly beautiful, except for the scars running up and down her arms. I sell rations. You may buy them for prices I'm sure you'll find quite reasonable. Her smile turns vicious. It causes me no sadness to see the lizards go. You have no love for your lizards? Pretty much. Before I came to Avernum, I tended sheep. Nice animals. Never tried to kill me. Lizards are very useful, sure. They provide leather and decent meat, but they're stupid and vicious. She gives you a close look at the scars on her forearms. Vicious, vicious, vicious. Jasmine's lizard meat is actually pretty good. She sells prime steaks and stringier, lower quality roasts. It's not a pleasant meat, but it's better than what you usually find in the underworld. Every time I go shopping, I have to reset my map screen. Memorial to those slain by the Sliths. And it looks like I can talk to one of the statues. This is a statue of a bold Avernum soldier, slain in battle against the Slithzerikai foe. It is also alive. You see its eyes move to follow you. Are you alive? Marginally. I wait here. For what? That I cannot say. At least not to you. Nor to your cat. Well then. Hey there, Garnet. Here we have Dexter the Fletcher, and also Julio, Sage Extraordinaire. A tall, muscular man sits behind the counter, surrounded by piles of books. What sort of things do you sell? Mainly, I deal in potions and such. You can buy potions from me if you'd like. Also, the things I've learned in my extensive explorations enable me to identify items with some accuracy. You make potions. Can you teach any recipes? I'm afraid not. My recipes are the source of my prosperity. Such secrets are rarely, if ever, given to mere adventurers. No offense. Where have you explored? His expression darkened suddenly. I was thrown down here for, shall we say, opposing certain excesses of our town officials. I spent my first 5 years in Avernum looking for a way out. I found many blocked tunnels, and came close to death many times. He sighs, and his expression softens. Finally, I gave up, but I do have a guess about that exit. I explored the eastern tunnels and wandered the caves of the north and south. No luck. But there are many areas to the west that humans have rarely, if ever, trod. A system of caves this large must have an escape route somewhere. If it's anywhere, it is west, and when someone finds it, I'm going, even if I'm 90. So I can buy potions, I can get things identified, like this elixir that we picked up. It is a draining brew. Lovely. That is probably going to have a harmful effect, and also it is worth 0 coins. Dexter. Sunk down behind the counter is a man so skinny he's practically invisible. Sparse, wispy hairs arranged on a rapidly balding pate. He smiles at you in a disturbingly toothy way. I sell archery stuff. Mainly. Let me know if you want to purchase something. Say, do you have any tools? He laughs and checks to make sure the store is empty. Yes, I sell certain, well, tools. And believe me, nobody is more adept in their use than I. Whenever you want any tools, just remind me you're an adventurer. Did I mention I'm an adventurer? He sells lockpicks, fine first aid kit, poison potion for some reason. Item is too heavy. Not sure if that's actually worth the money, but I do have a pretty good amount here. Meanwhile, I can also buy javelins, bows, arrows, decent archery supplies. You seem to deal with shady characters. Do you have any jobs for us? There's little of service you could perform for me, actually. Oh, there is a little service you could perform for me. In one of the homes of the northwest corner of the city of Blosk, a certain fellow owns a ring shaped like a snake biting its own tail. It's not magical, but a certain lady has offered me a sum if I could get it to her. Obtain the ring for me, and I will pay you handsomely. Just a little bit of petty theft. Looks like City Hall. There's a very large, bearded man in simple embroidered robes sitting behind the desk. He's juggling figures on sheets of crude Avernum parchment. Are you the mayor? I am the Lord Protector of Almeria. I take care of this city and the surrounding area, and I can do it just fine without a bunch of adventurers such as yourselves butting in. The last thing we need is adventurers. You won't get a token here, fellow. That's okay, we already have one. Ah, I see. Well, that's a different story. I don't have patience with foolish adventurers, but there is one way you can help us. To the west, along the south wall of the Great Cave, there's a nasty infestation. Several basilisks have taken up residence there. Deadly creatures. If you could kill them for us, I would pay you 250 coins. Now that is a new side quest for this game. I'm not sure I'm quite high enough level to deal with basilisks right now. Door is locked. Not anymore. And if I wanted to, I could steal a scroll of slow. And a scroll of ice lances. And an unidentified scroll. Sorry for the noise there, shifting position. Hi, Serena, and thank you so much. Fine Blades, Proprietor Ramirez. And also Armor of Quality, Proprietor Rosemary. There's a dark-skinned man with long black hair behind the counter. He's sharpening a wicked-looking blade. He smiles at you when he sees you, but he doesn't stop sharpening. I have fine blades of all kinds. That's what I'm here for. He sighs. That's what I do. My job. My identity. My purpose in this world. Now then, want weapons or not? I like that, although he has a very simple function as the town weapon seller, he still gets a pretty nice little description and a bit of snarky dialogue. And he actually sells pretty decent weapons. He's a taciturn fellow, but nobody can deny he sells quality goods. Blessed Dagger is potentially interesting. I would say I enjoy making Let's Play videos more than I do streaming specifically, but the live streaming is kind of fun because of the interaction you can get with the live chat. This shop is tended by a short, strong woman with long black hair. She's polishing a shield behind the counter. Her black hair makes her porcelain Avernite skin stand out even more than normal. I sell all sorts of armor here. High quality, just shipped down from Fort Draco. You can buy it if you have the gold. Can't beat armor from Draco. Fort Draco is far, far to the north. It's an iron-rich area, and they have a huge forge. They can even make steel. It's as good an advantage over the Sliths as any. An advantage over the Sliths? Don't they have iron? Sure, but their metalworking skills are nowhere near as advanced as ours. Also, their weapon designs simply aren't as good. What do you mean? I'm using a Slith spear right now. Sliths, as far as we've seen, only use one sort of melee weapon. It's this sort of two-tined spear. Now don't get me wrong, it's deadly enough. But compared to the range of weapons we humans use, it's just not adequate. I suppose. And also pretty decent armor here. I still prefer just scavenging mine from my enemies. Okay, Drake Skin Helmet does not give extra fire resistance. I think it's just tough leather. As usual, it's inferior to what you can buy on the surface, but of course, it'll have to do. Okay, she doesn't talk to me, but Ramon does. An archer sits at this table. A half-empty bottle of wine sits in front of him. Why are you in this inn? I'm on leave. I've been running raids against the Sliths. He hawks and spits on the floor. Vicious bastards. Tough as nails and smarter than the kiddies. We've been trying to raid this fort they have in the swamp. It's like some major sacred temple, though. We couldn't get near it. Ah, I don't know how we humans are ever going to hit the island. The Slith Island. The Slith leader, this... oh, I can't pronounce it. Big Slith. Lives on an island to the northwest. King's looking for someone to hit it. Fat chance. He thinks. I met someone who saw the island once. Name was Chuck. Probably dead now. If you ever meet him, ask him about it. He returns to his wine. We'll win this war, but it'll be a bloody, bloody business. Okay, the name Chuck is kind of familiar, but I don't remember where he is. Talking to Rhiannon. You meet a tall, thin woman with lovely long brown hair. She's busy tending the bar. Good day, what may I purchase at this establishment? Well, you could buy some food. The merchants haven't quite bought us out of rations yet. The common room is almost full, I'm afraid. Merchants again. But I could squeeze you in there for only 15 gold. And we have wine. You have real wine? Yes, wonderful, wonderful wine, and even drinkable. Made by local farmers, and reasonably priced. It's even in bottles. Bet you never thought you'd see booze in actual bottles again. And this is the only place you can get it. Better buy some soon. I could sell out any moment. Almeria is well known for making the best wine in all of Avernum. It took some work by the fine mages at the Tower of Magi, but they managed to create mushrooms which could be used to make wine. So we can get cheap wine for 7, or there's Mushroom Merlot 91, Chardonnay 85, and Almeria Yellow 91. I'll take some chips. It is, of course, disgusting, but it will get you where you're going. Almeria is known to make the finest wine in Avernum. Of course, by Avernum standards, that means you can drink it without becoming violently and copiously ill. Delightful. Okay, so there's the common room. There's the kitchen. And the wine cellar. With a stock of Chardonnay and Almeria Yellows. I love the little details like that. I think in Exile you could just buy Almerian wine, and here he's expanded it into 3 varieties. They all do the exact same thing, but they just cost different amounts of money. What's this box doing all the way out here? Holding a steel large shield. Yoink. So that's Almeria done. This lake is surrounded by a reasonable density of farms, relatively unguarded compared to the heavy fortifications visible to the north. These crops are nowhere near as successful as on farms in other areas of Avernum. For some reason, mushrooms don't grow very well around here. They grow just well enough to make farming worthwhile, and no more. This group of cave cows must be lost and lonely. That would explain why they've decided to follow you. Aw. Castle to the north, and Fort Emerald to the west. And I see some traveling merchants down here. who don't have particularly interesting goods. There's a tiny spring here, emptying into a small well. From the bottom, you see the glint of coins. Can leave it alone, throw in a few coins, or take the coins. You throw in a few coins. Nothing happens this time. Are those gremlins? Oh my goodness, how many levels of haste do you have on you? So, gremlins don't actually steal food in this game, compared to original Exile. It looks like they can charm my party members, which is also very annoying. No, Garnet, they are not quite as charming as you. Okay, Githa has just used one of my healing potions. So I'm not sure if that's more of a charm or a confuse effect. Well, okay, that worked. My fighters were not under my control, but they still attacked the gremlins anyway. Also, the gremlins no longer have that little giggling sound effect whenever they hit me, and I kind of miss that. Man, these cave cows really are following me for a while. In your travels through the caverns of Avernum, you have consistently noticed the quantity and variety of life forms present, both flora and fauna. Here, that miraculous and varied ecosystem comes to an abrupt end. The Great Cave in this area is much closer to what one would expect a cave to be. A bare, blasted stone wasteland, featureless except for the occasional rubble. For as far as you can see in this area, nothing lives, nothing grows, not even mold. The air is particularly humid and rank-smelling. Carved stone tablet says burial mounds. A poor old beggar woman is holding out an alms bowl. When you walk by, she says, "Greetings, heroes. Can you spare a few coins for a woman in the depths of poverty?" Well, it's always wise in stories like this to give beggar women a few coins. "Thank you, adventurers. You are as kind and wise as I have heard." She stands and starts walking towards Blosk. Okay then. Blosk being a little bit north, Tower of Patrick to the south, Castle back east. You meet a group of very busy merchants who are busy making themselves rich by carrying goods among the many towns and outposts in the Great Cave. And it looks like well, no, it's a slightly different variety of stuff I don't want. Haste potion could be useful if it didn't seem really overpriced. Okay, Darman feels really close to Blosk in this version. Anyway, I wanted to check out the burial mounds. Nothing grows in this bleak, barren area of the Great Cave. Not even lichen or the tiniest mushroom. Instead, it's being used as a huge graveyard. Cairns litter the landscape, each with a plaque saying the name of the deceased, why he or she was sent into Avernum, date of death, and cause. You notice many of the recent deaths were caused by Salliekat. You've entered a hollowed-out area in the center of a huge stone mound. Inside, you see cramped buildings and pale people going about their daily business. Soldiers on leave are carousing, enjoying their free days before going out to fight sliths. This is Darman, a large town hollowed out of the living rock of Avernum. I always thought Darman being hollowed out of a big rock and feeling even more cavey was cool. Barracks. You try to enter the prison and the captain stops you. Sorry folks, nobody is allowed in the Darman prison but Darman soldiers. I don't care if you're adventurers or not. Look elsewhere. Well, I just wanted to read the sign, but okay then. Prison authorized personnel only. Talking to Mayor DeBry. The mayor of Darman is an extremely placid, gray-haired man. He sits at his desk, twiddling his thumbs. Not much work to do, huh? I try to keep out of the way, mainly. The people of Darman are an independent lot, and they wouldn't let me be mayor if I bothered them. So I mainly do paperwork and deal with the council. King Micah's ruling council. Now there I have to work. I and the other 5 mayors have been working like crazy to come up with ideas to deal with the sliths. Plans, tactics, supplies, entertainment! And Micah just had to come up with that crazy scheme of his. Oh? King Micah wants to hire a bunch of adventurer assassins. No way. Running the war is our job. All ours. I hope you aren't another group of adventurers come looking for a royal token, because if so, you're going to be disappointed. I already got one. Ah, yes, just what we need. Adventurers wasting King Micah's time. I always said, ruling is the job of the rulers. Fighting is the job of the army. Everyone else just wants to get in the way. Yeah, you seem, very flexible and helpful there. Well, if you don't want us messing with the army, anything we can do for the city? He shakes his head. I don't usually hire adventurers. He thinks. Actually, we've been raided recently by bands of bandits. They have a lair north of Fort Saffron. If you could let me know who's been organizing the bandits, I would reward you. Okay. Histia's fine edibles. Sale on marinated mushrooms. Delicious. Hi there, Toko, or Toko Kiwi. Apologies if I mispronounce your name. Yeah, Darman does generally have some of the best weaponry available for purchase, at least outside of Fort Draco. And yeah, usually by the time I get to the Great Cave, I am pretty deep into the mid-game. I haven't actually dealt with any slith stuff so far. I'm, taking advantage of knowing where to get some of the spells. A charming, voluptuous woman sits behind the counter, mixing up some sort of, I guess that's supposed to be paste. Jars of preserved meats and preserves surround her. The smell is mouthwatering. Delicious gourmet comestibles. You may purchase some if you wish. They cost more than what you may be used to pay. More than you may be used to paying, but I think you'll find the taste makes it worth it. All this is just my little contribution. To the life of Avernum. I was miserable when I first came down here, but then I realized maybe I could make something down here as good as up there. So I started finding ways to make the food better, and I think I succeeded. Now my husband, Clive, is still depressed about it. But, well, what can you do? Clive? My husband. He runs the weapon shop. You cook good food down here? How is that possible? It's difficult. The ingredients are low quality. Sick cows, stringy lizards, too many mushrooms. But the right flavors, the right marinades, and some work, and you can create things that taste as good as anything on the surface. Okay. So she talks a big game, and all that I can buy here is fine meal for kind of a lot of money. She's actually... But let's pretend that the game is telling the truth. She's actually managed to take the mediocre ingredients in Avernum and make food that's good, even delicious. The results of her labors are expensive, but to a lover of food, easily worth it. But we are adventurers. We only care about stuff that is filling. Taste is secondary. This is Clive. A nondescript man sits sharpening a bunch of kitchen knives. He seems pretty tired and detached. I have weapons available for purchase, for what it's worth. And you can sell me your weapons too, I suppose. And other things if you want. He sighs. Hell of a life, huh? It doesn't seem so bad, at least you're not dead. He stares at you blankly. I don't mind dying alone in this pit, my throat slit by bandits. Oh no, I'm glad I got thrown down here for no reason at all. And I'll rot, and mushrooms will eat me, and I'm always cold. And I sit here in this moldy shop. I love my life. It's wonderful. Now buy something and go away. So why did you get thrown into Avernum? Bad mood. The mayor of our village demanded that everyone be cheery. I just wasn't capable. Well, that mayor sounds like an asshole. And he does sell some really good weapons. Clive sells weapons of surprising quality, made of high-quality metal. He's a rather tired and apathetic soul. Someone else must make them. Fair enough. Maybe he trades for Fort Draco weapons. So I've got Slith Spear, Flaming Sword, hard to compete with that. Magrat and Esme are not my frontline fighters. 2 to 20. Steel Pike would outdamage the Slith Spear, and Iron Halberd greatly outdamages it, but they're two-handed weapons instead of one-handed, so I'd have to give up the shield. Which, at this current level, I don't really want to do. Okay, I need to use more of my iron arrows so I can justify buying more steel arrows. That's a good question about custom portraits. So, if you go into your game files and find the data files, you can actually access all of the bitmap images, including character portraits. So if you wanted, you could probably go in, edit these files, after making backup copies, of course, because you should always make backups before tinkering with game files. Also, this is a good opportunity to bring up something else that I noticed. I know it's true in the remake, but something I did not realize was true of this game is that your characters have slightly different graphics, not only based on whether or not they're wearing armor, but also what kind of weapons they have. So they have different graphic sets for using a sword, a spear, sword and shield, sitting in a chair. I just thought that was nifty. And it's something that I didn't realize while playing this originally because I didn't tend to change up my weapon setups all that much. Like, one character would always use swords, one would always use a spear. Temple of the Vibrant Light. Sermons daily at sunrise. How people know what time sunrise is around here? Good question. Also, I probably don't have enough gold for what I want to do. Talking to Malville. The temple is run by a muscular man with raven black hair, pointed beard, and a huge mace. He radiates confidence and barely contained power. Are you the head priest here? I guard this place of light and peace in these dangerous times. I welcome all here who come with open hearts and peaceful intent, and provide healing and information. And I don't think I can keep that voice up for long, or it will make me yawn quite a lot. He grins. Well, you seem new to the area, so I'll tell you what's nearby. To the north is the Abyss, home to the misfits of Avernum. Fort Remote is to the south. It's not very useful. I have heard that the caves to its west contain a dragon, but I know little about it. Also, if purchasing the spells interests you, I will sometimes help the more noble of the adventurers in our land. Heck, yes. Apparently I count as noble enough. Yay! Malvel is capable of teaching even the rarest and most powerful of priest spells, but only to those with the wisdom to not abuse the power. So I can learn Sanctuary, Divine Fire, Control Foes. Divine Fire is the one I most want, and now I can afford one of the other ones. I'm not sure I actually have high enough spell level to cast Control Foes. Level 2 spells get really expensive. And he can also heal me. Oh, nice. I can pay to uncurse items even when they're just sitting in my inventory and not equipped or anything. Not that I can afford that right now. His healing powers are considerable. Even returning life to the dead is possible for him. Do you know how to raise people from the dead? Yes, I do. I learned the ability from a distant monastery of healing monks, all of them attuned to the healing arts. Perhaps they might teach you too. They live north of Fort Dranlon. I hear tell that around the river in that region you can also find the rarest of healing herbs, grey mold. But that may be just a rumor. Okay, that's just Malvel's bedroom. Alchemist. Right. You are very welcome, Plume. Yeah, that's a good consideration if these are 256 color or more than that. I already read the sign. Brr. Talking to a witch. You meet an ancient woman in a black dress. She is sitting behind the counter, grinding something with a mortar and pestle. There are a variety of spellbooks on the shelves behind her. And she is one of the very few characters that we can manually ask what her name is. It is not automatically given to us. Names have power, my child, but I will tell you that I am an alchemist. Many are my potions, and strange are their powers. I have a secret, one which may be interesting to you. Only 100 gold. And I have recipes as well. Okay, I'll bite. What is your secret? To the east, far to the east, is a cave of lava and steam. To the north of it, not far, is a secret cavern. In it is the best source of energetic herbs. Use them well. Oh, that is the cave that I already found earlier in this very episode. What a wonderful use of 100 gold that was! I have rare and powerful recipes, using the most powerful ingredients, even mandrake. In my generosity, I will let you buy these recipes from me. Mandrake, where can we find that? I would tell you, gladly. All I require is a minor payment, 500 coins. That's quite a bit more money than I have right now. Could you teach us any spells? Oh, she teaches spells. I did not remember that. Okay, Beast Ceremony I think is the equivalent to Major Blessing, so I am going to want that eventually. Also, Fire Blast. Anything we can do for you? She thinks. Actually, I have been looking for a copy of the Valorum Bestiary. It describes several rare creatures that are, well, were on the surface. I think there is a copy in the Tower of Magi library. Go look and let me know if it is there. Cool. Oh, those are expensive recipes. Woof. This witch sells a variety of exceptionally rare and powerful potion recipes, some of the strongest you've ever heard of. Hello. Talking to Menta. You have the unique pleasure of meeting a sleazy-looking guy in ratty clothes. He has a scraggly graying beard and a unique odor. A rusty short sword hangs at his belt. What are you begging for out in this corner? I work. I don't beg. I sell things. Right then, what are you selling? Well, for example, if you give me 10 gold, I'll sell you some information. Alrighty. Well, there's lots of bandits to the north, and they fence their goods here, though I don't know how they get them in. Now, for 100 gold, a modest fee, I'll tell you something about the jail. I don't have that much money. 100? Better be good. I know 100 is a lot, but I must insist. I've got to keep my lifestyle quality up. That's an interesting wall color. And it signifies nothing. Also, one of the statues here is alive. A statue of some long-dead mayor of Darman stares down at you haughtily. Then suddenly, it blinks. What are you? Can you hear me? It seems to ignore you. The Darman Arms, fine food and lodging. A small, sweet-looking woman with a baby at her breast sits in the corner. She smiles at you. You seem familiar to her. Hi, do I know you? No, but I've been waiting for you. Waiting to tell me something good, I hope. The scimitar's blade is sharp, and its eyes see far. Oh, excuse me for a moment. She burps the baby. Where was I? Oh yes, if you wish to strike a mighty blow for Avernum, go see our contact. His name is Royce. He lives in Blosk. Ask him of the scimitar. We need your help. We all do. She starts changing the baby's diaper. Over on the other end of the room, a buxom woman with wild black curly hair and a thick accent of some sort bellows orders around the bar. Her cleavage is awe-inspiring. What can I order here in your fine establishment? She smiles and leans against the bar. Her bodice moves around a lot. I'm sure she knows exactly what she's doing. Well, honey, I have a room for you. Only 5 gold, and a view of the lake. Or a tankard of mead. Well, cave mead. Can't get honey, so we use moss. Try it, it's good. 3 gold. You pay 3 gold. She gives you a mug of mead. It still has bits of moss floating at the top. It's strong stuff and gut-churningly nasty. Good, huh? Nixa grins and breathes heavily. I guess that more or less counts as a view of the lake. Well, I definitely got what I wanted from here. Let's go around to the other side just to get more map completion. A small network of very successful farms has sprung up around this spring. Delicious-looking mushrooms and fat, juicy lizards are looked over by armed and watchful farmers. Most of the farms you've seen in the Great Cave have been rather scrawny affairs. This rich area is a pleasant exception. Fort Remote is to the south, Darman east, and Saffron to the north. And text alignment is a little messed up. So there is one lonely cow over there. You encounter a flock of pale cave cows. They look a bit thin and sickly, but again, all cows in Avernum look that way. A young shepherd looks after the unhappy creatures. She nods at you and heads on her way. I only see one cow, but whatever. And I don't remember what this thing is. At the base of a huge stone mound, you find a large combined mine and ironworks. Sweaty, sooty men and women pull out ore and process it, so that it may be shaped into weapons to combat the many foes of Exile. Near the smelter, you find a blacksmith selling a wide variety of quality armor. It's far nicer than practically any of the armor you've seen in Avernum so far. And of course I can afford almost none of it. It is largely iron and steel though, very nice. Ooh, crystal shield, that's pretty nice. This item protects you from things which try to turn you to stone. While I'm in this corner of the world, would like to check out Shanie's Bazaar. Tucked into this distant corner of this distant cavern, you find a small stone building. The single entry is covered with a thick sheet of leather. A woman inside calls out to you. Come in, come in. The structure is small, scented with some sort of strange incense, and packed beyond comprehension with all sorts of items. There are weapons, armor, and crafts, made by humans, sliths, and Nephilim. Crafts from the sliths and Nephilim have probably been looted by the humans. Bustling among the items is a short, stout, impossibly animated woman with black hair. Welcome to my bazaar, she says. I am Shani, and when someone wants something, they come to me. I am as useful as I am distant. Would you like to see my wares? She has a very high inventory turn. She buys and sells all sorts of goods. She has a high inventory turnover, reasonable prices, and a very friendly attitude. Ooh, I would like to be able to afford the mage's bracelet. And the yew crossbow. Ah, the dragon skin cloak does provide protection from fire. Yeah, really good stuff here. But I only have 69 gold. Not nice. Anyway, I don't think I can get back to the Eastern Gallery without taking the long way around from here, because I do not currently own any boats. You meet a patrol of Avernum guards. They say they're watching for gremlins, and that a lot of the things have been coming from the south. You thank them for the advice and move on. I will explore more of these towns eventually. No Man's Land, sliths to the north. So yeah, huge body of water up there. Sliths and other various nasties will be in here. In the middle of this cave, you find the remains of an ancient stone circle. As you stand among the stones, twice your height, so old they're covered with stalagmites and calcite deposits, you can't help but wonder who made them. There's a large band of scruffy, heavily armed men and women here, sitting around a cavewood fire. It's very misty in this cavern, so you're able to get quite close without them noticing you. You try to listen to their conversation, but the sound carries very poorly. You aren't sure who they are or what they're doing here. You approach with weapons sheathed and hands out. They seem very relieved that you aren't bandits. This is a group of merchants heading south to the Great Cave. Their leader tells you that they carry supplies through these dangerous caverns from the Great Cave to the Abyss, which is to the west. The Abyss is where Avernum dumps all its criminals and dangerous elements. You spend a long evening swigging various beverages with the merchants, and they lift their heavy sacks and warily head southeast. Cave of Spirits, beware! In a secluded cranny on this broad ledge, you find a small abandoned building. Inside, you find a bandit supply cache. You loot it. There is some gold, some crude weapons, which you leave behind, and a flask. I like getting more money. This huge cavern is dominated by a chasm, miles long and extremely deep. The roar of rushing water rises from far below. A moist, icy wind blows up from the pit. It's an amazing sight. A narrow, natural stone bridge, impossibly long, arcs over the chasm. It is securely supported by a number of pillars. You wonder if magic had any role in shaping the stone like this. Probably. Halfway across the bridge, you can see that someone has built a tower. It rises from the middle of a large, natural stone foundation. Welcome to the Abyss. You're on your own. The spire is to the north. And that is how we get into the Abyss without passing through Fort Spire Tower here. But the Abyss is not actually where I want to go today. You're standing at the edge of an old quarry, where many tons of limestone and granite were mined out and hauled to the south. Stone from this pit must have been used to build the many forts and towns of the Great Cave. And again, an impassable body of water. And also, the Crypt of Drath. Screw this place. I don't like it. A large, corroded bronze slab in the wall with a lot of writing on it. You don't understand the language. To be fair, the Crypt of Drath is an excellently designed dungeon, but it's very, very annoying. Hey, Zach. And yeah, I saw that the Avernum 4 Kickstarter launched, like, what, 2 days ago? And met its base funding goal in 1 day, which is great. I'm definitely going to give it some money by the end of this month. But if anybody wants to give me $100 or $200 on my Ko-fi account, some of the reward tiers there do look really good. You squeeze through a crack in an ancient stone wall, probably created by an earthquake some years past. Inside, you are immediately struck by a chill, stagnant breeze. This chamber is very old, and most of it is ruins. There were once many murals and frescoes on these walls. They have all crumbled, and now you can only make out vague shapes. It is deathly still and quiet. And way above our current pay grade. Yeah, even the rats here are pretty tough. So I don't want to be here. Oh, I don't get the message about the Slith outpost again. Okay, that's an odd little secret passage. I'm not sure why that exists. Another sign telling me where things are, namely that Fort Emerald and Blosk are over to the west. You see some people working on the shore and walk over to investigate. Unfortunately, you found a Slith raiding party coming ashore. They're not human people, they're lizard people! You've done someone a very good deed, saving them from a surprise Slith attack. Unfortunately, you do this good deed by bringing their attack upon your own heads instead. I can counterattack, or I can flee in terror. Yeah, I really hope that the Avernum 4 Kickstarter gets to the 90,000 goal, because I would love to see a new artwork in it. So what spells do I have? Sliths tend to be fire resistant. Sanctuary will conceal the entire party, which is great until I try to attack something. Summon Shade could be interesting. Let's go with Smite. No, that was okay. Oh crap, they've got spellcasters. Seems like even Lightning Strike isn't doing that much. Well, it's doing good. Lightning Spray does well on the Slith Warriors, less well on the Priest and Mage. Irritating, that. Ouch. Okay, and killing the mage seems to have taken out the summoned spirit. Yay. Here's the spear. Okay, I was kind of hoping that one of these Slith Spears would be an upgrade, but it is not. Geetha, however, does get a helmet upgrade. So Sliths don't just have the two-tined spears, they also throw javelins. Which apparently are rather heavy. Oh, there's still one of you left. I didn't notice. Now he's gone. Not really worth it. Yeah, so I have basically played through all of the Avernum games. I never quite finished Avernum 6 because I just couldn't bring myself to finish the adventure. It made me sad. I will have to fix that eventually. But Avernum 4 is, in my opinion, probably the worst Spiderweb game, which it's still a Spiderweb game, so it still has a base level of pretty good gameplay, but yeah, that storyline really needs some work. So I think we are all glad that Jeff Vogel agrees with that assessment. Avernum 5, actually, I thought worked pretty well with the new engine. But revisiting Avernum with no separation between overworld map and towns was just weird. I believe I see one Slith. You looked like one Slith, but there's a bunch of you. Why slow my enemies when I can just blast them with lightning instead? And Slith Grunts don't even get the good two-tine spears, they get crappy stone spears. Hello, are you guards? Apparently. And this is the castle, which wants us to come by on valid business only. Shifting position in the chair again. I have to move every so often or my leg goes asleep. So I have not been making much of an effort to explore all of the towns I'm passing by because I kind of want to get back to the Eastern Gallery for picking up more Divine Fire and also a boat. But castle is pretty important. You find a very heavily manned guard post. Armed troops approach to make sure it is safe to let you by. As you pass, they say, "Make sure you have valid business up there, otherwise you'll get a boot in the backside." Much less pleasant than a cat on the lap. You're at the north end of a gigantic stone outcropping on the edge of the plateau, commanding an awesome view of the Great Cave. At the edge of it, to the south, is an amazing sight. It is a full-fledged castle, formed of gigantic slabs of stone. Guards watch from the parapets, and a drawbridge hangs over a huge chasm. That is quite an impressive wall around the castle. And that was actually a new message, and I did not read it. Great. Hi there, Patrick. Another ancient game, yes. I mean, this one is only 24 years old at this point. For the first time you enter the castle, the capital of all of Avernum. It's an amazing structure, beautiful and filled with rare craftsmanship. For example, it's the first building you've seen in Avernum which has wood floors. Somewhere inside, you might find King Micah, wise and harried leader of Avernum. That is, if he agrees to see you. Yeah, there are some beefy guards here. I like that there's lookout towers on higher elevation. That is another thing that I hated about Avernum 4, is it removed all of the elevation changes, because it basically changed from the old Avernum engine to the Geneforge engine. And I really hated how that just flattened everything out, literally and figuratively. Shevin the Lizard. Clearly, the most important character in the castle. There's a small lizard here. It's wearing a tiny bonnet, tied securely to its head. It doesn't look happy. You talk to the lizard just long enough to start feeling extremely embarrassed and self-conscious. Then you bid it farewell. I actually had a tiny lizard in my house the other day. Please stay off the mushrooms. No. But yeah, Garnet brought my attention to little green anole that I got into the house, and I managed to catch it before she killed the thing. And in gratitude, that lizard bit my finger. It didn't even hurt, it was really more of a pinch. Tiny lizard teeth were not enough to pierce human skin. I took it outside and dropped it in the front yard, where maybe it can be eaten by something else and not a house cat. You see a man in his early 20s wearing beautiful clothes. He doesn't look very bright. A silver circlet rings his head. He seems to be looking for something. He is sad. What are you doing? I'm looking for my lizard. She's naughty and has run away. A thought seems to pass through his mind, moving at glacial speed. Oh, wait. I'm also the crown prince. That's important. What's your lizard's name? Her name is Shevin. I like that name because it sounds so familiar. Here, Shevin, Shevin, Shevin. Tell me if you see her. She has a pretty hat. Ah, are you really the Prince of Avernum? He stands up straight and fixes you with a stare that seems to be intended to carry great weight. It doesn't work. I am Crown Prince. One day I will be king. Then I will, be the king and slay things. When I'm king, my lizard will be my prince. And I will have a queen. Neat, huh? You keep telling yourself that, kid. Why are you so sad? I lost my ring. It was a gift for me, and now it's gone. I lost it somewhere in the castle. If you can find my ring, I'll be very grateful. Okay. Another tiny side quest. You are a slightly different looking guard, and you have nothing to say. But you are a captain. Hey there, Yamama Nama. Yeah, I tried to make this stream at a reasonable hour instead of late at night. Originally, I wanted to do it Thursday afternoon, but alas, I got caught up in other work and exhaustion. A huge man with a heavy armor and halberd Yeah, Shevin is proof that a divine right of kings based on bloodlines might be a load of hooey. Captain Houghton. A huge man with heavy armor and a halberd sits at the desk going over plans. He looks very weary, as if the long war has slowly ground him down. Are you in command of the castle guards? He grunts. I'm in charge of the defenses here while the other commanders lead raids against the Sliths. I used to lead the raids. For years, I did more than my share. Now I mainly take care of the castle defenses, for when we get attacked. They said that someone like me should be watching the castle, because it's so important. And they were right. I've had 4 months to prepare, and I bet they'll charge any day now. And I'm ready. I have a great plan. What's your plan of defense? I can't tell you that, but I'll tell you this. The first band of Sliths which comes here will stumble into crossing streams of missiles and magic the likes of which Avernum has never seen. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to prepare. Okay, then. Yeah, relying on YouTube alerts is not the best plan for things. The algorithm tells you what it thinks you want to know, not what you actually want to know. And the cook doesn't have anything to say to us. There's a lightly glowing marble altar here. It feels nice just being near it. Glowing, huh? You kneel before it. The glow increases, warming you. You bask in the light, feeling it regenerate you. Eventually, you back away, refreshed. Hooray, free healing that we didn't actually need. Ooh. Impressive high table up here. Josh. A skinny boy about 10 years old is attacking the floor furiously with his broom. He's very pale. He may have been born in Avernum. Hey kid, what are you doing here? I sweep and clean up and stuff, but I won't always. I'll travel someday. Oh really, where are you going to travel? Up, down, and all over. I'll be an adventurer, and cast spells, and go to every tiny little corner of these caves. Just like you. His eyes get very wide. I'll even go to the abyss. Oh, that's right. I thought I remembered Houghton having more stuff to say and more of a side quest to give me. Apparently that's in the remake and not this version. His voice gets low. I heard some grown-ups talking about it. It's a big cave to the west and the north, and it's where all the people get sent who get sent down here and are actually mean and nasty, rather than just different. They're mean and nasty people, but I can handle them. Sure, kid. You're in my way. No, that's the kitchen. There are several comfortable, unused beds in this room. You could probably get a few hours of uninterrupted rest here if you wanted. Even more free healing. And this room looks like it's in use. Doesn't actually have anything interesting, just a staff. This plain room is dedicated to equipment and preparations for war. The eastern half of the room is filled with boxes of supplies. The western half is a large, open space set up for training. A genial man with short blonde hair moves quickly by. He's carrying several long lists of supplies. He keeps looking at the scrolls, shaking his head and muttering angrily. I'm the quartermaster. I look after the supplies, weapons, etc. It's quite a job with that blockhead in charge. I'm also in charge of keeping things in storage. Blockhead? Captain Houghton. He's not dumb. He was a good soldier once, but he's tired. I hope his defenses of the castle are as good as he claims they are, or we could all have real problems. The real commander is raiding the Sliths. I hope he gets back to the castle soon. They all live to the north. They have a series of smaller forts, but Commander Frankel, that's his name, is trying to get at their main fort. I doubt he can, though. It's on an island in the middle of a big lake, hard to get to by boat. Also, as far as I remember, we never actually meet a Commander Frankel in this game. Who can store items here? Adventurers in the service of the Crown are allowed to keep stuff here when they're traveling around. I'll keep an eye on it. Just put your things in the storeroom. I won't let anyone take them. Or just leave them around wherever, because this game engine remembers all of the items and not just ones in certain rooms. I'm proud beyond words to work here. You should have seen the work that went into making this place. They didn't think we could do it, but we did. Now the Avernites think we can do anything. I will say, though, that having a couple of designated storerooms, whether designated by the game or just by my own choice, is a useful way of keeping extra items and remembering where they are. Hello. A tall, thin man with long brown hair putters around the temple smoking a large pipe. Except in this case he's puttering around a storeroom instead of the temple. Sure. You would wonder what he was doing here, were it not for his spotless priest robes and holy symbol. I provide guidance of many sorts, such as advice for Micah. I also heal any who need it, for a modest fee. Even in a fort as mighty as the castle, there is much to be done. Much need for spells of all kinds. So there's 2 free healing and 1 source of healing that I have to pay for in the castle. Such luxury. Before I was sent down here, I was a high priest in a castle above ground. Then the local baron sent me down for acting according to my morals rather than his orders. So I came here and helped build this place, the mightiest structure in Avernum. The castle is our pride and yours. It is our reminder of what we can achieve down here. Can you teach any spells? I have great skill in that area, but there are those with more. If you wish to learn more, you should go to Melville, the High Priest of Darman. He may be convinced to teach you, and he is without peer. Indeed. And you are a cheaper source of healing and uncursing. We're adventurers, and as always, we're looking for quests. Anything we can do for you? Why yes, thank you for asking. I'm also the castle historian during peaceful times. I'm trying to learn all I can about what has happened in our land. If you ever find works of history, bring them to me and I will pay you 25 gold for each one. Heck yes, I knew someone would pay me for history scrolls. Yay. And before I explore the other side of the castle, I want to see what I missed over here. This is a small prison. It's very clean, and the normal sweaty odor of a prison is absent. These cells haven't been used yet. And they're not even magically locked. Always save before stepping on unfamiliar runes. As you get close to this rune, there's a blinding flash of light. A magic barrier, in a rich, forbidding shade of purple, has appeared and is blocking the passage. As you get close, it throws sparks at you. You don't know how to affect the barrier. It's too powerful for your magic to dispel it. You back away, and the barrier fades away. Okay then. Naturally, all of these doors are locked. But one neat feature of unlocked doors, the spell, it can unlock all nearby doors, not just one at a time. That is a significant upgrade in this game engine compared to OG Exile. Made it sick. There's a empty space here. Okay, it's just a little hidden gardening shed. And this is a large barracks. And this is a small library. Was there someone who wanted to know where the castle library is? I don't remember anymore. That door looks very important, so I'm going to save it for later. Someone's keeping lockpicks in here. Nothing interesting on the shelves, though. Someone's private bedchamber. There's a thick leather-bound tome of magical knowledge on the pedestal. The words are painted gold on fine vellum. This book must have been smuggled down from the surface. Before you manage to read even a single sentence, the book's magical defenses kick in. A burst of energy throws you back. Aww. Oh, hey, that looks like the throne room. I'm just gonna pretend you didn't see that. There's a wizard here. Talking to Roan. No, it was the Barga library that X wanted to find, not the castle library. Never mind. A tall, raven-haired wizard with somewhat distracted air works furiously behind his desk. His fishy white skin marks him as someone who has been in Avernum for many, many years. Please, I'm very busy. Leave. Then he thinks twice and looks you over. Wait, you're adventurers. Maybe you will believe me when I speak of the threat that faces us all. Heaven knows nobody else does. What threat? Threat? There's a threat? He stops to mentally regroup. Oh, yes, the threat. I've written all you need to know, in my memoirs. They're around here somewhere. I forget where. Read them, and you'll know some of what you need to know. Also, you can tell me the name of the evil creature who endangers us all. I forgot. We don't know that. Find my journal. It'll tell you. I think I left it in a desk somewhere. I forget so many things. Okay, so now do we have to search all the desks? Oh, here it is. That was easy. In one of the drawers of the desk, you find a leather-bound journal, filled with cramped, scratchy writing. You soon determine that it is the incomplete memoirs of Roan the Wizard. He was cast into Avernum along with 2 other mages, Erica Redmark and Patrick Padraig, after they were at the wrong end of a political struggle in the Mages Guild. Through close cooperation, they were able to elevate the society from its starving, embattled, confused depths to its current, somewhat developed, embattled state. Of greatest interest is the account of their defeat of the demon chieftain Greyhoth. They, with the help of a large band of warriors and a small cadre of mage apprentices, stormed his fort, which was hidden beyond a sea of lava. They won after great losses, shattered the fort, and sealed it beyond an enchanted door. Greyhoth was imprisoned inside an enchanted bottle and hidden in tunnels far away. So, hey, I found that thing you were talking about. Greyhoth. Yes, that was it. We imprisoned him, but there are signs he can strike out at us from his bottle. Someone needs to go there, open the bottle which holds him, and kill him. Otherwise, the threat will never end. You imprisoned a demon in a bottle? Oh yeah, I just glanced over at the comments again, and yeah, this is the only Avernum game that lacks an in-game quest list, which means that I have to remember everything on my own. Or find, like, a game facts guide or something. Or a hint book. Fortunately, the quest log was implemented in Avernum too. We raided Akrath, his now ruined fort to the east, and fought him there. I, Patrick, and Erica trapped him in a powerful bottle of our own making. To get him out of it, we'll take a blessed athame, and I can't remember if there's one of those down here in Avernum. Akrath is to the east. Yeah, in this version of the game, Akrath is the ruined fort in that one steam and lava-filled cave, not Greyhoth's castle in the far corner of Avernum. I think there's been some confusion over that. We sealed up his demon servants inside after we took their leader. Patrick took the key to the lock we used to seal the demons inside. Who's Patrick? He lives in his own tower to the southwest. Go see him. He knows as much as me, and probably remembers more. So would Erica, but she's harder to find. Who's Erica? Who? Oh, Erica! She was the best wizard of us all, but she thirsts too much for revenge on the people above, and she went off to find a way to get it. Damn stupid if you ask me. We have enough problems without angering the Empire. Last question, what is an athame, and where would one be? Only a blessed and enchanted dagger can break the seal of the bottle. Alas, the forces that keep him in keep us out, and thus keep him safe from us. The Tower of Magi would be the best place to find such a blade, but they wouldn't give it to you. You see, nobody believes me when I speak of this threat. The fools there think that Greyhoth is gone, and are getting entirely too chummy with other demons. Yeah, it turns out when you've got one guy keeping track of all the details in a universe as big as this one, sometimes little details like the specific name of dungeons gets a little muddy. Especially when he tries changing up things for each iteration of a game. Royal Treasury. Warning. Deadly traps and foes ahead. Yaha. So yeah, a well-equipped party can entirely try to rob the Royal Treasury. I'm not gonna do that. Another little hidden corner. The guards, after checking your royal token, which marks you as having permission to enter King Micah's throne room, wave you through. But apparently if I have high enough tool use, I can just sneak around the other way. Talking to King Micah. There is a very slight old man in loose-fitting silk clothes standing in front of the throne. He wears a gold circlet. Although he appears frail, his eyes have a powerful, piercing quality that seems to take in everything about you instantly. It is simple. I am the chosen king of Avernum. I provide leadership for our people and mastermind our actions against our enemies. He smiles and looks you over, measuring the quality of the material brought before him. How do you regard Avernum? When I was sent down here, I first thought that this was an ugly place, devoid of joy and hope. Then I saw the land the people who had come down here before me had created, and I learned that being here was not the doom I had thought. Now, despite the many threats that surround us, I work to maintain our government. Yes, threat enough for us to try to hire adventurers to help us combat it, an idea much disliked by the council. My co-rulers, the mayors of the 6 largest cities, Silvar, Formalo, Kotra, Almeria, Blosk, and Darman. Wise, capable people, but too untrusting of any weapon not held by a soldier. I don't hold that view. I would even welcome help from the Abyss. Some of the people sent into Avernum are actual criminals. When they act up, we sentence them to their own Avernum. We send them to a cavern called the Abyss. There, they have their own cities and ways, and means. There, they butcher themselves in peace, well away from us. I would accept their help, but I would watch them carefully. How fares the government? He nods gravely. We have good, brave people. We have excellent resources and skilled magicians. What we do not yet have, alas, is a clear choice for my successor. My son is, shall we say, inadequate. He gives you a long, careful look. I always look for those who can lead. Remember that. You might ask me about possible missions. Avernum is in a brutal war with the Salliekat. To the north, there is a large Slith castle on an island. Inside lives the Slith king Sistis, their great leader. If you can sneak into his throne room and kill him, I would reward you greatly. What do you know of these caves, sire? Ah yes, the rich, greatly underrated caverns of Avernum. He smiles sadly. I dream of the day the above-grounders find out what a wonderful place they gave to those they hated. I have long ago learned that Avernum brings great good along with the bad. So here's another place where we have a choice. It was difficult, but we've started to see how beautiful this land is. Surely your majesty is joking. I can't stand this pit. So, personally, I'm rather fond of Avernum. I am pleased. Do not mistake me. I miss the sun. I miss the trees and the breezes and the feel of good, honest dirt underfoot. But Avernum, in its own way, is a good land, and the people are strong and kind. This is my home, and I've learned to love it. How did your majesty come to arrive down here? Never mind that that's supposed to be a rude question. I was a rebel leader. I was becoming well known, and even feared by the Empire. Then I was betrayed and caught. The Empire did not want to make me a martyr, so they sent me and my son down here. My fame above ground had preceded me. That was how I arrived, and how I started on the road to being king of this great land. And there's one more thread that I've not done. Tell me about our enemies. The Salliekat are our most organized and deadly foe. Long we have tried to slay their leader, and long have we failed. Then, of course, there are the Nephilim, and the Nepharim, and the Arania, and giants, and undead. Our foes are many, and strong. The mission remains the same. Go to the Slith Castle, on an island far to the north, and slay their leader. His name is Sistis, and he is cunning and evil beyond measure. He must die, if Avernum is to ever be safe. Thank you for talking to me. Another small library. And cloakroom. How do I get out of here? Sometimes it's hard to read the layout in isometric view. Okay, well, I feel like I've covered a fair bit of ground today. Oh, and also my voice is about to give out. So I'm going to save it here and pick it back up sometime next week. So thanks for dropping in, everybody. I look forward to talking to you all later. Have a good night.